Lovely to be back. It seems like we've been away for ages. It's only been 3 minutes. I'm so excited. I'm Stephen Chidge, and you are, of course, watching the Chelsea Football FanCast live and direct. And we're talking about the Newcastle game, which was thoroughly enjoyable, largely because of one very special little Belgium. No, I'm not talking about Hercule Poirot.
Or Tintin.
Or Tintin. I know, one for the teenagers, that one. No, it's Eden Hazard, but I'm just wondering, actually, Eden Messi might be a better name for him these days. Of course, the one thing that Eden Hazard and horrible Messi have got in common is that, of course, that neither of them have scored against Chelsea. Isn't that right, Pablo?
I suppose so.
It is absolutely right. So there we go. Here's the thing: how good is Eden Hazard?
Everyone knows they've got to mark him, everyone knows they've got to watch out for him, but they don't seem to have to stop him. He's great at cutting inside. A lot of what he does is the same, but it's very hard to stop someone. They run with pace and with confidence, and they know where they want to go. He actually has a direction already planned. A lot of them don't know where they're going to run the ball. He just does everything right.
We always knew that he could reach a level where he is able to just do whatever he wants and no one can actually stop him doing that, and I think he's on his way to that now. Totally superb.
He's cut out that thing of falling over, which he did last season a lot.
Martin and I, the good doctor, who was brilliant actually, he was back in Gate 17 with me at the weekend for the first time in a long time, which was great, but he was saying that, the thing about Hazard, he's quite small, but he's quite a unit. He's stocky, isn't he?
Oh, he's got, yes.
Low centre of gravity, and he's hard to push off the ball.
Muscles on his muscles.
You have to kick him. I'll tell you what about the thing about Hazard. I remember, way before we signed him, Joe Cole was interviewed on Talk Sport, and when he was playing with him, it was Lille, wasn't it? They were playing it, yeah. And Joe Cole said, "No, you've got to watch this kid Hazard. He's the best player I've ever played with." I mean, Joe Cole's praise of Hazard was huge. This was years before we signed him, so I kind of, remembered that. But I mean, here's the interesting thing. What is Hazard doing better this season than he was doing last season? Do you think?
I think the match today was very good at pointing out the fact he looked...
Surely not.
I know, I'm afraid to say, I can't remember who specifically said it, but he was...
Probably Dick Mohammed.
He's suddenly become...
I used to play for Manchester City and Liverpool.
And Liverpool, like everybody else.
I used to speak with a German accent, but now it's Scouse.
It's an interesting combination, actually.
Jan Mulby. He's even fatter than me. I don't know.
Fulham manager.
Oh yeah, he's got a totally bizarre accent. He does
Hey, we didn't take us long, did it? What was the question?
Well, I was going to say, I love the fact that he does take in what is around him. Yeah. There was a wonderful shot they had of while the ball was about to be passed to him, he actually looks around to see where, which is class.
I think his finishing is getting far better, and I mean we know this because this was said in a presser, wasn't it? That actually Jose's encouraged him a lot to work on his finishing, and he's now looking to finish off a lot of the moves that he starts and carries on. But I mean, I just love a player who runs at defenders and gives them twisted blood, as we used to say.
The second goal was completely superb.
Well, both of them were really. I mean, from the first one, from the Cruyff turn when he took the ball faced away from goal.
Cruyffed him, mate.
Sent the defender the other way, gave him the space straight out to Ivanovic without really even looking, and superb.
I mean, do you think Jose? I mean, funny enough, I was talking about Jose's ability to be a horse whisperer on the very horse-oriented Podding Shed, which sadly ended up sounding like the old Smash. Remember the mashed potato?
Yes.
Big mash and smash. You probably did the voiceover for that, didn't you, Jonathan?
No. I think I may have done that.
Anyway, it sounded a bit like that, apparently, which is a shame, because we actually talked some very interesting stuff. One of the things I was saying was that, Jose seems to have this ability to take players and make them into even better players. And I mean, do you think that, he should already get a bit of credit for improving Hazard this year? Because he gave him a bit of a, arse-kicking, didn't he?
I suppose he should, but at least he hasn't what Benitez did, which was trying to say that he's improved every single player.
But then tell me a player that hasn't improved this season from last, other than Mata.
But Hazard as well, though. The thing with Hazard is, it is his second season, so everyone, I think... You need a season really to settle in properly.
I'd accept that.
Do you want to hear what Rick Lanville says?
I will, and then I'll go to the benches and see what they say.
Hazard will only get better. Ross will have to be dishing out with spinal tap 11s.
He will. And so I like that. Because Pablo's in the Beautiful Game band, as we know, and they had a gig on Saturday, and I've always wanted to have a Marshall amp which went up to number 11.
Yeah, I'm sure they exist.
They probably do, actually. It's a good market trick. Benches, what have you got to say? What have they got to say with Mixelar in it?
No, just... that Hazard is phenomenal, as we all know.
Yeah.
But I agree with Darren. It must be very frustrating for teams to know exactly what Hazard's going to do, but not know when or be able to do anything to stop it, because he always cuts inside and keeps going across the pitch, and you know he's going to do it, you just can't stop him.
Here's a question for you lovely people on the benches. Do you think we're going to keep hold of him? Because, Barcelona, Real Madrid, no, don't finish that, but they're sniffing around him at the minute, and I don't know, I'm not worried about it, because I think he's got more sense, and I mean, if you play for Jose Mourinho, why would you want to play for Barcelona or Real Madrid? But are you worried? Darvish has got a point.
I think the key here is Jose. Like, if Jose stays on for that contract, Hazard would stay with him. Definitely. That's definitely.
I think that's spot on, mate. Would you agree with that, boys?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, I think so. And I think, Ronaldo always wanted to go there because our Portuguese, Spanish are sort of quite close to the Madrid thing. I don't think Hazard's ever said he's got any interest, has he?
True to form, I'm going to disagree and say that I think eventually he'll be the next he'll be the first £100 million player out of the league. Not this summer, it's probably 2 years' time.
Depends on how many trophies we win, though.
Yeah. Very true,
like Darvish said, if Mourinho sticks around, I can see.
Yeah.
I agree.
I kind of see if one of those two make it their mission to sign him and start agitating and spend the entire year agitating beforehand, I think eventually his head may get turned.
It depends how big a club Chelsea are.
I totally agree.
If the Champions League, if we start doing well in that environment, then I think you'll hang
we're winning that the year after next.
Exactly.
Premier League next year, then the Champions League.
Can I say what CFC Science has?
Dave's a good lad.
Dave, yeah. I tell you what, Jonathan Kidd looks nothing like he sounds.
What does he sound like?
Yeah. What do you want me to sound like then? Shall I be a bit more like that? Do I look a lot more like that? So what do you reckon? Is that the character I should have for this face?
I want you to do it. Can you do it in the style of the Laughing Gnome?
He was, wasn't he?
Only Jonathan would try and do it. That's why I love this man.
Do you reckon that tweet was just aimed at getting Jonathan to do impressions?
Dave's no fool. Anyway, listen, I want to talk about. Actually, funnily enough, I've got the last bit we're going to do on this is the happy one is having a laugh. Maybe the happy one is having a laughing gnome, possibly.
Oh, possibly.
But before we get into that, I want to talk about Matic a bit. I mean, I know we're going to talk about him in the City bit, but I just want to know: do you think buying Matic has kind of solved our defensive midfield? I know there was a crisis, but we're all grumbling a little bit. And this guy's come in and his Premier League debut was a City game. I mean, we're going to talk a bit later, so I'm going to have to keep my powder dry. But he beasted Toure, and he looked. I mean, he just looks so assured.
He's a superb player.
What a player!
Brilliant. The ability. He hasn't got Makelele's spider-like quality, even though he's been called Spider, isn't he? But
Makelele was a tripod, so it's quite easy for him to scuttle
he did
across
those strange,
the pitch.
possibly illegal tackles Makelele did, but seemed to prize the ball away from between somebody's putting his leg around the outside of them.
But he wins so many stand-up tackles as well, where he just kind of goes in.
Stand-up guy winning stand-up tackles.
And then goes forward and plays a perfectly paced ball.
He sees it all in his head in a kind of Pirlo way before, and he wins the ball.
That's what I like. I mean, the two things I've noticed about Darren is that when he wins the ball, he's either looking to get it forward really quickly to somebody who's in an advanced position like William, for example, or Hazard, or if they're not on, he starts charging off with the ball. And that's what I love. I love that.
I like it. I mean, I'd say he does always look comfortable and confident on the ball. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't ever panic. He's not looking like you say. He's not looking to pass back or like sideways or anything like that. Like Paul as well, he stands up a lot like Makelele. Makelele never used to dive in for anything, really.
No, he's a shrewd player, wasn't he?
The only thing I want to know is if we do start using our full... I know Brander attacks a lot, but he attacks more than Aspi. If Matic will actually stay back and slot into those sort of positions temporarily, like what Makelele used to do, if he's going to be that sort of holding player or not.
It depends who's with him. If you look at the two games he started so far, he's had Luiz and Lampard, neither of which Luiz is told not to go forward, and Lampard doesn't quite have the legs to do it, so he has been the kind of box-to-box of the two. But I think if he's with Ramirez in a two, he's likely to be the one that's...
One thing I noticed actually on Saturday, and I mean, I thought Lampard had a solid game. I don't think he was spectacular. I think this year it's going to be really difficult for Frank Lampard to be Frank Lampard, because I think he is slowing down, and he is having to adapt his game slightly. But what I noticed, and what I liked a lot actually, was that, as you say, Lampard was sitting a lot deeper because Matic has got more energy. And what Frank hasn't lost is his ability to ping a 30-40 yard pass to feet
instantly by having he looks very quickly and then plays that
and he was doing that and allowing Matic to do the shorter stuff or charge forward, and I thought that worked really well.
Froggy Chelsea says that he was great against City in tandem with Luiz and Ramirez, but it is early days. Can he do it week in, week out?
Well, we do.
Who's that Matic?
We do.
Matic.
Every Monday we perform.
I don't see why not. He was Player of the Year in Portugal. Why didn't do it in Spurs?
I'm hugely surprised at the level that he's already come in on, but if he's already this good, then...
Well, it makes you... I mean, here's the thing. People were like having a go at us, saying, well, why are they spending 25 million quid on a lad that they got rid of a few years ago? Well, I think the evidence is there for all to see. And I just wonder... I mean, I know there's all this debate about whether we'll win the league or not, but... I wonder that signing actually could make the difference this season. I mean, forget the fact that we still haven't got a decent striker, but that could make the difference.
I was thinking this earlier. Yeah. I was sitting at work earlier thinking about that Mourinho kept apparently talking about strikers and this and that, and then we buy Matic, and he actually does seem to have really added what we need to the squad, I suppose. We've got enough people that can score, but he actually does do that holding role.
Me like him.
And Eto'o is a class act.
I'll talk about Eto'o in a minute. I do want to talk about Eto'o because...
I'm trying to prize him up now.
I've noticed... I want to talk to Chatter on the benches and find out what people on Mixer are saying about Matic.
Matthew Huggins is surprised how well we settled into the team because teams used to walk through our midfield. Daniel Classen has said Matic is like one of those tower defence games. He just annihilates everything.
Can you ask Daniel Classen whether he thinks that Matic is a new world man?
Well, he's heard it from you now.
You'll get an answer in a minute.
Okay. Spanked says the middle is definitely stronger now, and he's always looking to press forward as well.
Excellent stuff, good stuff. Right, now, Jonathan, just for you, we can talk about Eto'o, but I do want to talk about Eto'o, because I thought Eto'o had a really good game against Newcastle. I really did. I thought his link-up play was brilliant. His effort is fantastic. And what I really loved most about him was I thought he made a real nuisance of himself. He was really busy and hustling and getting in the Newcastle players' faces. Brilliant to see him actually win a penalty for fouls that are never given.
What did Webb say to the linesman? Did he say to him, "Don't ever do that again"?
I thought he was asking who did it because I thought there was some confusion.
That's what I thought. In the B-Well, wasn't it?
Yeah. The liner gave it absolutely immediately as soon as the ball came in. It was him, not Webb, that gave it.
I had a really. That's how I knew, weirdly, because I'm pretty much right above where the lino was. So in my peripheral vision, I could see his flag going.
Did you see Gary Cahill just before, in that sequence, as the corner was being taken? This is probably my favourite part of the game. He just stood there eyeballing the defender on the post, jumping up and down like that, just eyeballing. He tried to move away, and Cahill followed him around like that, and the cross came in, and we got a penalty. It was brilliant.
It was really nice to see it given, but that for me summed up. It was kind of, in a weird sort of way, the perfect reward for the performance that Eto'o gave, because he basically spent the whole game making an absolute nuisance of himself, and he got a couple of shots away.
He has more than nuisance value. I think I noticed a great moment at the beginning of the game where he went up to every player and started encouraging them. And I think you've got so much experience, and he's been a brilliant striker.
Man, I'm loving that. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I noticed this actually the last few games. You see it all the time. When they walk out, start of the match, half-time, he's always talking to people like Willian, getting in their ear. And I just thought, hey, now I understand why Jose's bought him, because he knows what this guy's like, and we've got ourselves another leader on the pitch.
And when he was subbed, he was applauding everyone. Then he heard the Samuel Eto'o, hello, hello song from the Harding end. He stopped again and turned and applauded them again.
This is going to you, Steve Bunsey, trying to start that stupid Samuel Eto'o scoring a goal like Samuel. I told you it wouldn't catch on. I said from the get-go it's got to be hello, Samuel Eto'o. Obviously, idiot, letting the side down in gate 17.
He's tried, though.
I saw him at City, actually.
He's on cracking form, Bunsey. I saw him on Saturday.
Eto'o is clearly just a born winner, like you say. He has done it, and he shows the passion when he scores, when he does anything. Like I say, he's a new
celebrations are immense, aren't they? I love them. Callum loves them. I'm with him on that.
He's completely committed. I love him.
But he's such a menace. He is like the defenders to the goalkeeper. He's the only one that never lets the goalkeeper have a second off. He will always go for it still.
I'm loving him. I'm really warming to it.
Why I say that this is about a nuisance, because it's more than nuisance, because I'm old enough to remember watching Chris Garland play for us. Now, he was a nuisance. He was a nuisance because he couldn't do anything else.
Yeah,
so it's that kind of player where you think, people say, but he is a nuisance.
Right, Torres, for example.
Well, he's a nuisance, but for a completely different reason. Now, listen, Jose is obviously very happy at the moment, and he says we're a little horse and we can't win the league. I mean, do you think we can win the league?
I think we can.
This year?
And there's been the swing in the last week is something we could never have ever expected, like both goal difference-wise and points-wise, but It's early days.
I mean,
really.
I wrote a very interesting little article about this, even if I do say it myself last week for the International Business Times. But one of the points I did, I know it had words in it that were long and intelligent. Yeah. Anyway, I think that I've said it before, said at the beginning of the season. I think Jose's he's the kind of manager, like Fergie was, to be fair, that's worth 10 or 15 points in a season. And I think that could be the difference. Pellegrini, he's already got inside his head, and that's getting to him. Also, Pellegrini has won nothing. And even more interestingly, Pellegrini's Real Madrid got the highest points total in La Liga history, apart from the fact they lost out to Barcelona by 3 points at the end of it. Yeah. So he's a bit of a choker, I reckon.
Yeah, and actually, they're only 2 points better off this season than they were last season.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I would say, just very quickly, about the other thing, that he hasn't won anything. Mourinho he's proven everywhere he goes. If we had gone 1-0 down last week, Mourinho would have known what to do. Pellegrini doesn't. Yeah. That's why I've almost said we'll win the league. I couldn't believe when Dan Levine was here and said he thinks it's still City's to win. I've never thought
it should be on paper, but as I said, there are things the manager, in here,
which I won't get to what you said about Mourinho later on in the thing. But the manager is worth a lot, and I think about the 10 to 15 points I have said now. You look confused.
I am.
But I think
it's my confused look.
But he knows what he's doing, and he can motivate the players. Yeah. And like I say, he will get inside his head. He was commenting on him today as well that in Spain, Pellegrini said he wouldn't talk about Mourinho, and now he keeps talking about Mourinho. And
Arsenal are melting down, as we all knew they would, and they've got a horrific run in February and March.
And it doesn't end. It doesn't end until April. They only get a couple of games off.
The other thing I would say, and we've got, obviously the other thing we should say is that we've got a pretty easy run, and the only tough away fixture we've got is Liverpool away. Yeah. And actually after Saturday that could be a tough game, although we made them look pretty ordinary when we played.
He'll find a way of
and he will. You know he won't lose that match. He won't lose that match.
Rodgers does know him. Rodgers knows Mourinho. Mourinho knows Rodgers.
But he's got an inferiority complex, I think, because he
learned it all from him.
He's to polish Mourinho's boots.
Clark came with West Brom. Clark came with West Brom to Chelsea and nearly beat us. Mourinho's not lost at home and Clark nearly beat us. Rodgers knows, he does know his stuff, and Mourinho's always said that he is.
It's going to be very interesting. We've got to go for a break, but before we do, hands up. Hands up for whether we can win the title this year or not.
We can, but I wouldn't want to say we will.
So it's a yes. Put hands up around the table.
We're gonna win the league.
We're gonna win the league. We're gonna win the league. I think they get the point, Darren. Benches, are we going to win the league?
Yeah, we will.
So that's a full house. Okay, just to prove this is.
How can Andy not think we're going to win the league? You put money on us.
Andy, you said
every match. If we win every match 4-1, how can we not win the league?
I said that earlier.
Andy said
13 games, we'll win the league.
They're full house. They're going to win. Just to check this is not a Gallery, can you put your hands up to see if we're going to win the league? Yeah, great. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Harryman's a Man United fan. Are you going to stay in the league, Harryman? On that bombshell, we should probably go for a break, really. But I personally, I think we can.
We will win the league, 100%. He's the only one that knows how to win the league. That's in the league.
Darren, he's put money on it, mate.
Do you know what I did? I put 250 quid on Terry to score in a Super Cup. He didn't. I wish I put on. I almost did. I said 500 quid. I was to win the league.
Darren, don't put money on it, because if you put money on it, we won't win it. That's my.
I won a better season. I put 55 quid on Lampard to score on Saturday, and he hands the ball to Hazard.
I'm just not winning. If I do that enough, he might
stick himself against the.
Anyway, we should go before we get taken off air or something daft. But we will be back in a minute for what I can only lovingly describe as the Fannies. Yay!